Hey everybody, Raul Shah, DocShot Financial, and in today's video, I'm going to show you what changes you need to make to your stock portfolio based on the Fed cutting their rates. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that because you don't have to make any changes to your stock portfolio based on the Fed cutting rates. Now, I see so many of these influencer videos where they come out and say, here are the 5 things you need to do now that the Fed cut rates. Guys, I'm here to tell you as a professional investment manager, one who manages millions of dollars in client assets, that the Fed funds rate or the PMI numbers or the CPI numbers or the PPI numbers, none of those matter, okay? You have to understand what counts and what doesn't count when you're looking at a portfolio. When I look at a stock, whether that's one stock in my portfolio or a group of stocks that are in my portfolio, all I care about is the revenue growth from that stock. I care about the earnings from that stock. I care about the free cash flow. I care about how many insiders own shares. I care about the margins. Those are the important things that you need to look at when you're evaluating your portfolio and trying to determine if you want to make changes. If you're going to make changes to your portfolio based on what the Fed funds rate gets cut from 5.25% to 4.75%, guys, you're not going to have success in investing at all. You're going to have a very rough road ahead of you because you're focusing on something that does not matter. What matters are earnings for a company. Now, yes, discount rates lowering, I'm not going to get too technical, will increase the price of every stock because all the future cash flows become more valuable. But what you need to understand is that when you own a stock, you are an owner in an actual company, and you need to start acting and thinking that way. So what does that mean? Let's say that you're Mark Zuckerberg and you own Meta. Well, if the Fed cuts rates, do you think Mark Zuckerberg sits there and think, well, geez, the rate fell by 50 basis points, maybe I should sell the company? Right? Of course he doesn't think that, right? He'd be a complete lunatic if he thought that. Yet people do this in their portfolio every day. When you own shares of Meta, you, like Mark Zuckerberg, have an ownership claim in a business that is producing cash. You have to focus on what the business is worth, not what's going on in the outside world. The news is a distraction. You can't get caught up in reading headlines and reading all the macro reports. It's going to drive you insane, and it's just going to make you make really bad investment decisions. What you need to do is focus on economic facts as they pertain to your stocks. So for example, if you own an automobile stock, an economic fact that's important to you is the price of aluminum. So instead of focusing on what the jobs number shows, why don't you focus on what the price of aluminum shows? Because that's going to give you actual feedback into what are the margins going to look like for your automobile stock going forward. And that's going to help you determine if you need to buy more of that stock or sell that stock. So remember, this is a short video because it's something that I really care about a lot because there's so much bad information out there that people are just, saying, hey, the Fed cut rates, here are 5 things to do. They're just trying to make money off of getting views from you. And I'm here to tell you as a guy that's actually doing it, that has a registered investment advisory firm. I do not care what the Fed funds rate is. What I care about is the individual stocks that I own and the actual facts as they pertain to those stocks. And that's how you build out portfolios. Because remember, risk in a portfolio or an individual stock is the difference between the market price of the stock and the fair value of that stock. What does that mean? So let's put some numbers to that. If a stock is worth $10 and I buy it for $50, that's extremely risky because I bought it for 5 times what it's worth. It's really only a matter of time before I lose a lot of money. Now let's say that I bought that same $10 stock, but I bought it at $1. There's not nearly as much risk in that. Why? Because I bought something that's worth 1/10 of what it should be worth. And that gap is likely going to get closed over time. So you have to really understand that in investing, you have to look at your individual stocks and evaluate them on their own merits. The revenue growth, the earnings growth, their free cash flow, the inside ownership, the cash position, how much debt they have. All of these facts are important. Not the PPI, not the CPI, not the jobs report, not the unemployment report, nothing. None of that stuff matters. Focus on the individual companies and you will have much more success in investing. And if you need help building out your portfolio, if you have a portfolio that hasn't really gone anywhere in a long time or is going down, just shoot me an email, raul@docshotfinancial.com. I'd love to have a conversation and hear about your specific situation and if I can help. And if not, at least I hope you learned something from this video. So thanks so much for watching.
So I've always said, if you spend 14 minutes a year on economics, you've wasted 12 minutes. And I really believe that. Now, I have to be fair. I'm talking about economics in the broad scale, predicting the downturn for next year or the upturn or M1 and M2, 3B and all these M's. I'm talking about economics to me is when you talk about scrap prices. When I own auto stocks, I want to know what's happening to used car prices. When used car prices are going up, it's a very good indicator. When I own hotel stocks, I want to know hotel occupancies. When I own chemical stocks, I want to know what's happening to the price of ethylene. These are facts. If aluminum inventories go down 5 straight months, that's relevant. I can deal with that. Home affordability, I want to know about when I own Fannie Mae or I own a housing stock. These are facts. They're economic facts and there's economic predictions. And economic predictions are a total waste.